This film is written and directed by Terrence Malick, who I had no idea who he was until recently, and it stars Brad Pitt, Jessica Chastain, Sean Penn, and introduces three new boys to the screen, but I've completely forgotten their names. This film was shown at the Cannes Film Festival in Paris, and it received a very opposing reception. The audience members booed it off the stage, however, the critics loved it and gave it the Palme d'Or reward, which is like the highest award that the Cannes gives, and it was essentially like the best picture at Cannes. So, mixed reception there. People said that critics loved it because it's a very confusing story and nobody understood it. And so I went into it kind of having that pre-thought that, okay, I'm probably not going to understand anything that goes on in this film, so I'll just, go along for the ride. I think I did understand the majority of it. Obviously, there were things that I was trying to piece together as I was watching it and trying to relate different things. But overall, I did like it. Which surprised me because this is a very unusual film. It's a very artistic film, but one of the problems that I have with this film is the length, is that it's a little bit less than 2 hours and 20 minutes long. For a film that's not kind of like Hollywood-style production where there's a lot of action and adventure and, suspense, the film does drag, and I was really invested in the first like hour and a half. The last half hour I was really struggling to keep myself involved in, but that doesn't mean that the film is bad. The film is good. So the film opens with Jessica Chastain's character receiving a telegram that her son has died at the age of 19. And I'm not sure if I wasn't paying attention enough or not, but I don't think we ever find out how the son died. You just know that he's dead. And so then you cut to Brad Pitt, who finds out that his son has died. And so it's the first part of the film, which isn't very long, is just about the family kind of grieving and dealing with their son's death. And it's a very heartfelt scene, and there's not a lot of dialogue in the beginning of the film. It's mostly just choir music and silent, and there is some lines of dialogue, but it's not that much. And then the film goes into the Big Bang, and essentially the film shows you how the world was created. So that goes on for a while, and then you cut to dinosaurs and kind of the evolution of life and everything. And then you cut to sort of how the family got started and how Jessica Chastain and Brad Pitt got married, had their kids, and the film focuses on the firstborn child, Jack. The film follows him, but it follows all three boys and the family, and the film shows their growing up and how they react to different things in life. And one of the things that surprised me is that I found myself relating to this film a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. I found myself relating in ways that things that they did when they grew up and how they reacted to certain things when they grew up, different experiences. And they are raised by two parents that kind of have these different ideas of how life is. Mother is sort of the symbolism of grace, very loving, caring, and she wants her boys to feel loved and doesn't want them to be afraid of anything. And then you have Brad Pitt's character, and his character is sort of this person who wants his sons to be very much their own man and wants them to be tough. And he's a failed musician. He plays piano at home, but he's a failed musician, and he really beats himself up for it because he regrets wasting all of his time trying to be this famous musician. And he has all these patents for these inventions, but none of them ever get like picked up. And so he really is upset with himself, and so he kind of punishes his children for his not being successful. And so his kids are afraid of him a lot of the time and don't like being around him. Intermittently throughout the film, you will see Sean Penn's character, who's the older brother, and he is an architect. The film shows him, and he's continually thinking about his brother that died. As a whole, I did enjoy the film, but I'm going to say that this is not for everyone. I'm going to give this film 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I would recommend this as a rental because you need a really good attention span in order to make it through this film. So I would recommend this film just as a rental.